It's time we take a stand, and a stand against the Justice Department. Because as we told you yesterday on this program, they're attacking parents, and I'm most likely probably going to be one of them. And why? It's because parents across this country are willing to stand up and defend our kids and their education against these woke educators and the CRT ideology that is getting spewed on them. All week long, we've told you. The AG, Merrick Garland, now demanding that the FBI investigate, and I'm all for this, threats or violence. That's fine. But that's not what he said in the letter. Oh no, there's much more. He talked about intimidation and harassment. Well, that can be self-interpreted by the FBI agent who's investigating, right? So the AG now wants parents that go to school board members that are protesting the CRT, the mask, the vaccine mandates, whatever, he wants them looked into. He wants them investigated. That's intimidation. This is absurd, folks, that an AG is actually doing this. Can you believe it? I sure as heck cannot. Now a headline reading, AG Merrick Garland's daughter is married to the co-founder of an education company selling critical race theory resource material to school districts. Let that sink in, leave that up there, don't take that down. I want you to think about that for a minute. His daughter is married to a guy whose firm spews the CRT crap and makes money off of it at public schools. Garland's daughter, Rebecca, is married to that man, Jan Tanner. He's the co-founder and the president of Panorama Education. The data mining education company conducts surveys and trainings for K through 12 public school districts on multiple subjects, and one of them, of course, is what? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Panorama Education website says this about diversity surveys. They frequently conduct, quote, the Panorama Equity and Inclusion Survey, and it provides schools and districts with a clear picture of how students, teachers, and staff are thinking and feeling about diversity, equity, and inclusion. The survey can help schools and districts track the progress of equity initiatives through the lens of students, staff, and identify areas for celebration and improvement. Also, it can inform professional development and signal the importance of equity and inclusion in the community, end quote. Ready for another one where we connect the dots? Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg funds Panorama Education. Now, something else about these surveys. The company's been hiding stuff. And again, Garland's connected, Facebook's connected. Bring this one up. The Daily Wire reporting, AG not only linked to this firm that profiles students, but they keep the information. So they do a psychological profile of your kids without your consent, which is illegal, and they store the data and keep it. After they survey the students, Panorama Education, again, stores it. They're not supposed to do that. The school board, the district could, because you send your kid to that school, but not an independent agency like this, a think tank. Panorama Education has contracts, you ready for it, with more than 20% of the nation's largest school districts. Your kids go to school in Chicago, LA, Houston, New York, they're getting this crap. And they've got your kids' info. A nonprofit organization, Parents Defending Education, is now trying to expose the company. They've discovered that Fairfax County Public Schools signed a 5-year deal to pay $1.8 million in, guess what, your money. COVID emergency funds are going to go directly to Panorama Education for, ready, social and emotional screening. Vice President of Parents Defending Education, Asra Nomani, now tweeting this out. Fairfax County Public Schools to parents after exposing all this. She says, if you're receiving this email, it's because we've received an opt-out form for your child to not participate in the social emotional screening next week. Some families have reached out as they realized they did not intend to opt their child out of the screener and thought the form was giving permission to participate. We want to reach out and confirm with all families who opted out that this was the correct decision. If you still prefer that your child not participate, you don't have to do anything. However, if you change your mind, you can make a mistake, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. So they're mining this information, asking these questions, and keeping it. Facebook pays them, and the guy's married to Garland's daughter.